Welcome to my review of a custom LEGO T-6 shuttle by Rio Bricks. Starting off with the box here, we get to see that it's part of the Star Revenge line of sets. This set is set number 99006. It contains 5,749 pieces for 14 plus with a 7-star difficulty level. On the back of the box, we get to see another way that this set can be displayed, as well as other options of different parts of the set. When you open the box, you're greeted by two instruction manuals titled A and B. Then you're greeted with an absolute mountain of pieces. This set comes with bags numbered from 1 to 14 with a couple sub bags in between. This set also comes with two different sticker sheets numbered from 1 to 55, which is a whole lot. Also, these ones came out printed a little weird, so I figured I would mention that. When you open bag 1, you'll see 7 sub bags. You start with 1-1, and then you open that. Once you go through all of those pieces, you go on to the next 1-2, and you go through until you complete all of bag 1. But now, let's get into the actual set. Alright, starting off here with the back side of the ship, we have 4 beautiful looking engines, a ball turret, and some nice greebles going down in between the wings. One thing I will say is that this ball turret, those little cannons popping out up top, they just always fall off like very frequently, so beware of that. The ball turret over here also has one of the very few printed pieces on this set, so I guess that's a plus. Now let's make our way into the body of the ship. This is really the first thing that you build. You build like a big pillar in the middle between everything, and then you build each quadrant around each side. It's not the strongest attachment. It's really just like placing a flat stud on a flat stud all the way through. But they stay together pretty well. Really nice greebling around the sides. Really cool building techniques, honestly. I was curious to see how this was going to come out, but I think it came out great. One thing I will say is that a lot of the detail on this set is from stickers, as you can just see it here on the body. It's nothing compared to the wings, but for right now, this is still a decent amount of stickers on this part. But let's move on to the wings. For the wings, you build 4 different panels that you eventually place on this huge Technic, basically skeleton, and I think they came out really good. It's just that there's so many stickers on them. I got lazy, and you'll see it in some of the pictures that I'm popping up. They are just not straight. I got lazy. Some of them are a little misprinted, but I mean, overall, I think it looks great. Like if you're just sitting here looking at the set like I am, it just looks really good, and they're not super noticeable. But in the grand scheme of things, the build took just as long as it for me to put on stickers for each one of these things. So I don't know what you want to think of that, but we'll get into the pros and cons of the whole set later. Let's move into the cockpit. It's very similar to the old T-6 shuttle set from LEGO or any LEGO Millennium Falcon set. It's very small. In order to get Ahsoka to fit inside of the T-6, I had to take out some pieces and move some around and take off her legs. But I mean, once she's in there, it looks really good. I'm not going to display it that way. I'm going to display it with her on a stand. But I just think that the cockpit looks really good. It's the other printed piece in this set, one of only 2 pieces that are printed, which is kind of shocking. But that's what you get when you get Rio Bricks and not real Lego. And I think the cockpit area in general just looks really strong, but it's nothing to write home about. Moving on to the stand here, pretty solid stand, does a good job of keeping the set upright. It's a little bit wobbly, but that's just because of how tall and heavy this set is. But it's got cool little features on it. It's got a little control panel, got some boxes, and it's got some good places for your figures too. Since this set doesn't come with any figures, I just went and put an Ahsoka and a Huyang on there, but I'm also going to throw like a Sabine and maybe a Hera on there later on from the actual LEGO official sets that came out this year. Here are some size comparisons for you guys if you don't know, with some sets that came out in the last year. Here's it next to the Venator. Here's it next to the T-6 LEGO official set. Way bigger than that. I think that the big T-6, the Rio Bricks one, just looks so much better, especially because the pieces are white. Here's it versus the UCS X-Wing. Towers over that, to be honest. X-Wing's one of my favorite sets too, but the T-6 just takes the cake. And lastly, next to the Ghost, I hope they make a UCS Ghost that I can put next to this thing, and it will be super sick coming up for the Ahsoka movie. But let's get into the pros and cons. The first pro of this set is just its sheer size. I think if you want a big set like I do, you just want something that just kind of commands a room a little bit. Like, it's just the same size as many UCS sets that Lego puts out. And for getting it at the fraction of the price, it's just amazing. The first con I have is just all the stickers. 55 different stickers with at least 3 or 4 of them per is just quite frankly ridiculous. They look great once you have them all on, but the process of doing it honestly just takes longer than the build itself. So that's my number one con for sure. Pro number 2 is definitely the displayability of this thing. It looks unbelievable next to some of the other CS Lego sets I have. It's just a pretty looking set, and if you're a fan of the T-6, to me, this just has to go on your shelves somewhere. My second con is this thing is very, very fragile. If you try and like rotate it to get it into a different position to display it, it just breaks everywhere, and it's kind of a pain in the butt to fix. But overall, I mean, I wish it was a little more durable for sure, but still a great set in my opinion. My last pro is that Lego doesn't have a UCS T6. They just released one this year, and it doesn't look particularly great. And just having the big white and red model just looks so much better than anything Lego's put out recently. Last thing, these pieces are just hard. They like hurt your hands if you build with them for a long time. So that's just one thing to look out for if you are going to buy this set. But yeah, I mean, overall, I like the set a lot. I'm going to give it a final grade of a 7.9 out of 10. If you're a fan of the T6, this just has to be a cop. I think since I'm such a big fan, I like it a little more than some. The build wasn't too difficult, and just basically everything about the set I've enjoyed except for the stickers and the cons I listed. But let me know your thoughts in the comments if you think you're going to buy it.